The night my house caught fire, I thought the flames would be the worst part. I was wrong. The worst part was standing barefoot on my lawn, watching smoke pour out of my windows, while the HOA president argued with firefighters at the gate. My house was burning and she was blocking the fire truck. It started with a sharp cracking sound from the kitchen. At first I ignored it, then came the smell, thick, chemical, wrong. I rushed in and saw it, bright orange flames licking up the backsplash behind the stove. Within seconds, the cabinet above it ignited like it had been waiting for this moment. The smoke alarm exploded into noise. My heart started racing so hard I could feel it in my throat. I grabbed the extinguisher, pointed, sprayed, nothing. The fire didn't shrink, it grew. It moved fast like it was alive. Heat slammed into my face. I stumbled back, coughing, eyes burning. I dialed 911 with shaking fingers. "Fire department is on the way," the dispatcher said calmly. On the way? Those 3 words were supposed to mean safety. So why did everything feel like it was already slipping away? I ran upstairs, grabbed my dog, and rushed outside as thick black smoke swallowed the hallway. By the time I reached the lawn, flames were visible through the kitchen window. Neighbors were stepping out, confused at first, then horrified. Someone yelled, someone started recording. Sirens echoed in the distance. Relief hit me for half a second, then the sirens stopped. Not closer, not turning into the driveway, stopped. My phone rang, unknown number. "Sir, we're at your community gate," the firefighter said. "It's not opening." I gave him the entry code. He paused. "There's a woman here refusing access. She says we don't have authorization." Authorization? For a burning house? I didn't need a name. We all knew who it was. The HOA president. The same woman who once threatened to fine a neighbor because his grass was visually disruptive. The same woman who treated the community like her private kingdom. Behind me, a window exploded outward from the heat. Glass scattered across the driveway. The flames were climbing higher, reaching the 2nd floor. On the phone, I could hear her voice in the background. Cold, controlled, almost proud. "This is private property. Emergency vehicles must follow proper entry procedure." Proper procedure. My house was on fire. The firefighter's voice hardened. "Ma'am, this is an active structure fire," her response. "Rules are rules. Tell me something. If your home was burning and help was 30 feet away, would you stand there quietly? Or would you lose your mind?" Because I felt something shift inside me in that moment. Fear turned into rage. Helplessness turned into disbelief. My entire life, memories, photos, everything I worked for was being destroyed while she debated policy. Neighbors were now yelling near the gate. Some were shouting at her. Others were screaming for the firefighters to break it down, and she just stood there, arms crossed, blocking them. If this story already has your heart racing, hit like, because what happened next shocked the entire street. And subscribe if you believe no one should ever have this kind of power over someone's life. Because in the next few minutes, the situation went from bad to unforgettable, and the HOA president. She was about to lose control of everything. The next few minutes felt unreal. Smoke was pouring from my roof now. Flames were visible from the 2nd floor windows. Neighbors weren't just watching anymore, they were shouting. Some were filming, some were screaming at her to move, but she wouldn't budge, arms crossed, chin up. Like she was guarding a fortress instead of blocking a fire truck. Then something changed. I heard the firefighter's voice over the phone again, calm but different. "Sir, step back from the structure. We're initiating forced entry." Forced entry. Before she could react, the fire engine reversed slightly. There was a loud metallic crash that echoed through the entire neighborhood. The gate buckled inward like it was made of paper. Sparks flew. The HOA president stumbled back, screaming about property damage, but no one was listening to her anymore. The fire truck roared past her. Hoses unrolled across the pavement. Firefighters moved with terrifying speed and precision. Within seconds, water blasted through my broken windows. Steam exploded into the night sky. The sound was deafening. And for the first time since this nightmare began, I felt hope. Neighbors had surrounded her now, not physically but socially. Phones pointed at her, angry voices rising. "Are you insane? What is wrong with you? You could have killed someone," she tried to defend herself. "They violated community protocol," she yelled. "This is destruction of private property." Private property. My house was collapsing behind me. At that moment, a police cruiser pulled up. An officer stepped out, taking in the scene, the smashed gate, the burning house, the crowd, and her still arguing. One of the firefighters walked straight over to the officer and started explaining. I couldn't hear every word, but I heard enough. Obstructed emergency services. The officer turned toward her, and for the first time that night, she looked unsure. Have you ever watched someone realize they pushed things too far? Her voice softened. Her posture changed. But it was too late. Multiple neighbors were already telling the officer what they saw. Several had clear video of her physically standing in front of the gate while my house burned. The fire was eventually contained. The kitchen was destroyed. Half the upstairs had smoke damage. My living room ceiling had partially collapsed. But I was alive. My dog was alive, and now the attention wasn't on the fire, it was on her. The next morning, the video was everywhere in our community group chat. By afternoon, the HOA board called an emergency meeting. By evening, she was temporarily suspended pending investigation. Temporarily didn't last long. Within a week, she was removed as president. The fire department formally filed a complaint for obstruction. The HOA's insurance refused to cover the destroyed gate because it was damaged during an emergency response, one that had been illegally blocked. And here's the part she never expected. The neighborhood turned completely against her. People who used to stay quiet, they spoke up. Old complaints resurfaced. Fines she'd unfairly issued were challenged. An audit was requested. Power only works when people stay silent, and that night, the silence broke. If you were one of my neighbors, would you have confronted her, or just stayed out of it? She ended up selling her house 6 months later. No goodbye party, no sympathy. Just a quiet moving truck early one morning. Sometimes I stand in front of the repaired gate and think about how close everything came to being worse. A few more minutes, and the fire could have taken everything. All because someone believed rules mattered more than human life. If this story made your blood boil, make sure you're subscribed, because HOA stories like this prove one thing: power in the wrong hands is dangerous. And trust me, this wasn't the last time someone tried to play king of the neighborhood.